Peace and blessings, family. Hope all is well. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I am your host, CueBracey. And in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to Bill Clinton sitting down with the host on The View, letting them know where he thinks the Democrats fell short in the last election. Let's check it out.
Mr. President, I want to ask you, Donald Trump was in part elected this time around by getting some of your original base. The base that propelled you to win victory twice was working class voters, very much the backbone of America. And over the last 20 years, we've seen a lot of those shift to the Republican side. What do you attribute this to, and what do Democrats need to do to try to get the working class coalition back?
We need to quit screaming at each other and listen to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to have a serious conversation about these things.
Stephen A. said the same thing when he came on The View. He said, you know, Democrats try to tell us who's next, as opposed to listening to the people and listening to listening to who the people want next. So this is something that's being said over and over again. The Democrats are not listening to the people. The Democrats are out of touch with what American people really think, feel, and want.
And I think one of the things that Democrats sometimes do is give up on too many people because the demographics say they're not going to be for us. Mm-hmm. Well, that may be, but you know, if you don't deal with something that's controversial just because you don't want to hear it, that's like an insult to voters.
What Bill Clinton is saying is absolutely true. It's 1000% true. So many average, hardworking Americans feel insulted by the Democratic Party. And it's something that has been said over and over, especially on The View. If I had $1 for every time somebody told the Democrats that they were snobs and they need to get their nose out the air, I would be a rich man. Democrats come off as arrogant. They come off as, I'm better than you, and if you don't think a certain way, that means you're backwards. That means you're a misogynist. That means you're a racist. And so hopefully what Bill Clinton is saying is cutting through.
Yeah, right. Agreed.
I mean, you know, and I think, I tell everyone, this is my pink elephant in the living room story. If Whoopi and I have been friends for years. Mm-hmm. So suppose Whoopi goes and redoes her living room, and I get invited to come see it. And I know it's going to be nice. And I walk in, and sure enough, it's really pretty. Except that in the corner, there's a beautiful round couch, and standing behind the couch is a pink elephant. Mm-hmm. Now, if I stay there with her for 2 hours, and I drink her coffee, and maybe we'll have something else to drink, and we have a good time, but I never mention the pink elephant, what's going to happen when I walk out of the room? Yeah. She's going to think, I thought that guy was my friend. I thought he cared about me. Mm-hmm. If he had really cared about me, we'd have talked about why in the living daylights I got this pink elephant in the room, right?
I like the sound of the pink elephant.
I'm telling you, this is a big problem for people who aren't comfortable with these kind of conversations.
Big problem for Democrats right now.
We're always going to have differences, and we are very narrowly divided now on many things. But I think you shouldn't run away from the tough ones. You should turn into them.
Yeah.
And I think it will help bring us back together. I may be wrong, but that's what I think.
I think the thing that's most interesting to me is why the Democrats don't want to listen anymore. When we really look at the things that they're pushing for, a lot of it is really demonic, and there is no gray area. So instead of Democrats trying to push this agenda, I think it's important for Democrats to get back to the real issues that people care about.
Sonny has the next question.
Thank you, Whoopi. Mr. President, Donald Trump will be returning to the White House, unburdened by the pressure of re-election, with sweeping immunity granted to him, I believe, by the Supreme Court.
She looks sick.
And an alleged enemies list, we're hearing. Do you think it would be wise of President Biden to preemptively pardon any potential targets? What about your wife, Hillary Clinton? She apparently is on Kash Patel's list.
All right, time out, slow down. Trump already said that he wasn't focused on revenge and retaliation. He was focused on making the country successful. So for Sonny to continue to harp on this topic, to me, it's just like she's continuing to fearmonger, she's continuing to be negative and not let certain things go. But let's listen to what Bill Clinton has to say.
Well, they got a problem with her because first, she didn't do anything wrong.
Of course.
Second, she followed the rules exactly as they were written. Third, Trump's State Department found, they remember how the emails were such a big issue in 2016? Trump's State Department found that Hillary sent and received exactly 0 classified emails on her personal device. Most of us get out of this world ahead of where we'd get if all we got was simple justice.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so it's normally a fool's errand to spend a lot of time trying to get even.
Yeah, agreed. But if he pardoned...
And Trump already said that he wouldn't do that. Once again, Bill Clinton has come in and said the same thing that many other people have said. You know, the thing that I like about Bill Clinton, and I think the thing that a lot of people liked about Bill Clinton, he's a very smooth guy, right? And he's a very easygoing guy, easy to listen to. And I think the things that he was saying are important because the more divided we are, the more susceptible we are to fall to external forces. Because everybody knows when you're dealing with a big, mighty army or military, the best way to defeat them is by decaying them from the inside out, as opposed to trying to, fight them directly. So the more divided we are as Americans, the easier we are to conquer by our enemies. And I think the pink elephant statement that he made is so important because the pink elephant in the room is that nobody cares about transgenders and LGBTQ in terms of those being a part of political agendas. And Bill Clinton's analogy, the pink elephant is this out of place thing. It's this taboo thing. Whereas I think the pink elephant is that people don't want a pink elephant. Are Democrats willing to come into our house? Or do we have to keep going into their house talking about the same fucking pink elephant? All right, we already been in your house. We know you got a pink elephant. Whoop-de-doo. I don't want to talk about that every single time. As a matter of fact, it stinks in the living room. You know what I'm saying? The elephant keep hitting me with the trunk. Like, I don't want to be over here no more. Things are getting too weird, right? And, when you going to come to my house? And I think that's the main thing with Democrats. They're not listening. They're not willing to go in other people's house. They just want to tell everybody how to run their house, and then they want us to come over to their house with a funky-ass elephant in the living room. Anywho's, man, if you like this video, you stayed this long, click the link below. Check out my other video. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all over there. Peace.